Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be fully explaining the PvP system for Fallout 76. Now, originally, I had a whole script, I had a whole speech planned, I had a whole essentially video planned for you guys here today to explain how the Fallout 76 PvP system will actually work. However, while scouring the internet, I actually came across an article written by GameSpot which perfectly explains how the PvP system in Fallout 76 will actually work, and we're going to take a look and read that article together. Now, this article does leave out two minor details about the PvP system, but we'll go ahead and talk about that after we read the article. So with that said, let's go ahead and get straight into it. How does PvP work? When you shoot someone, you do a little bit of damage, which can be equated to lightly slapping them in order to challenge them to a duel. In response to this, the other player can choose to ignore or engage. If they engage in a battle with you, they'll start to take full damage. The one who is killed in this consenting PvP match has the option to seek revenge. Doing so gives that person the opportunity to get double the rewards granted they're successful. If you rather choose to ignore a PvP match, there's no way to escape being killed despite the small damage dealt to you during the initiation phase. However, if you are killed by a player under these circumstances, that player becomes a wanted murderer and will receive no rewards from having killed you. A wanted murderer is marked on the map as a red star and a bounty is placed on their head. Players looking to cash in on this bounty aren't visible on the murderer's map. If the murderer is killed, the money from that bounty is taken out of their stock, which means pocket. In order to give players time to properly acclimate to how Fallout 76 plays, PvP won't be available to players until level 5. And if you perish from any PvP encounter, the only thing you'll lose is the junk you've been collecting, which can be reclaimed after death if not already picked up by other players. You can always store junk in stashes found around the world, so as to safeguard a portion of your stock. Armor and weapons are retained in your inventory after death. So yeah guys, that article pretty much summarizes how PvP will work in Fallout 76 almost perfectly. But like I said, it leaves out two small minor details, and those small minor details include that you can actually fast travel away from somebody while they are trying to engage you in PvP if you have not yet accepted the duel. The second detail that it leaves out is that when someone gets a bounty on their head and that bounty is claimed, the caps for the bounty will come out of their own pocket. And if they do not have enough caps to cover that bounty, they will receive a debuff to their damage for both PvE and PvE, essentially making the game unplayable for a short period of time. In fact, Pete Hines had tweeted something about both these two minor details a while back, kind of summarizing them much better than I ever could, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at those right now. So here we go. Martin Metaclaff says, "Hey, at DC Deacon, I was wondering what would happen if I were to kill a player marked as a murderer, but they have no caps on them. What would the bounty be?" Pete Hines says, "In that case, I don't think you get the additional caps reward. You get a basic reward, but not a bounty from them. But they do receive a debuff penalty. The amount of damage they can do to anything gets lowered for some amount of time." And another user said, "Nope, this was in totally different part of the tweet, but he's still talking about the bounty stuff." So somebody said, "Nope, since I haven't tested it, but to me it makes sense unless I completely misunderstood you on it. So does everyone receive a debuff from murder, or is it just people without caps?" To which Pete Hines says, "People without caps get that if they don't have the caps to pay for the bounty. So they do less damage in PvE and PvE for long enough that hopefully they decide to stop murdering." Now, I think this is a really cool and awesome feature and a great way to stop people from just murdering people. In a lot of online games, a big problem is people just killing people over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and they don't really have a consequence for this. But it looks like Bethesda Game Studios has taken this into consideration and has developed a consequence for actually being a murderer, which I think is fantastic, especially for an online game like Fallout 76, where you will have people who just want to murder over and over. I'm really glad to see that they're taking steps to kind of prevent people from just killing people, constantly and stuff like that. So, moving on to the next thing, Pete Hines actually talks about is here at DC Deacon. So fights are individual, meaning if you're in a group and a single player attacks just one of your team members, they can or can't engage to save you. Also, how will PvP players stick to PvP if there's no designated servers? To which Pete Hines replied, it's a setting. You can flag yourself as not wanting to engage in PvP. There's also ways to find folks who do want to. You can have the pacifist setting off and decide each time whether you want to fight or not. So essentially, you can flag yourself for PvP, and that will essentially notify people that you are interested in PvP and you want to fight. Or you could have a pacifist setting on, and you'll just kind of be on your own and you won't be flagged for as wanting to engage in PvP. However, Pete Hines actually goes on to clarify this flagging system a little bit more when somebody actually asked him this tweet a while back, and it says, the rational fans of at Bethesda appreciate the work you do. You're always my first stop for news on all things Bethesda. One question I do have is pertaining to the ability to flag out of PvP. Does that prevent PvP damage or reduce it? Can you still murdered with the flag on? To which Pete Hines replies, you can still be murdered with the flag on, but the damage you take is reduced, and so it takes a while, and there's ways to escape if you really want out. Pretty sure you can just fast travel out while being attacked by another player you don't want to fight. So yeah, there you have it, guys. This flagging system will notify people whether you want a PvP or not. Even if you don't have, a flag out for PvP, you can actually still be killed by someone. However, the damage that they do to you is going to be reduced and will essentially give you enough time to fast travel away and out of the situation, which I think is very cool that they give you some type of escape route. I really like how they're not forcing people to PvP, and they're not kind of backing you into a corner. They're giving you an option to escape using fast travel, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, that's how the PvP system for Fallout 76 will work. One, you can be killed at any time by anybody. However, when they are shooting at you for the first time, essentially a challenge will be initiated for PvP. During this period of time before you accept the challenge or don't accept the challenge, they will do reduced damage to you. Now you have the option of fast traveling away, walking away, or actually engaging this person in PvP. If you engage this person in PvP and let's say you lose, you have the option of trying to kill this person again, and you will get double the rewards for it. And when you die, all your loot will not become available for the person to loot. Only your junk will, so things like your weapons and armor will be completely safe, which I think is very amazing and very awesome, as if you work 30-40 hours to get good armor and good weapons, it would really be unfortunate for someone just to kill you, take your things, and kind of just wander off, and you never see those items again. It's really cool that if you die in a PvP situation, they will only be able to loot your junk, and you could go back and get your junk later if you do so wish to. Junk is very important in the game, keep this in mind, as it is your resource to build, but I think losing your resources to build is much better than losing the weapons and armor and everything else that you work hours and hours and hours to actually get. Now, if somebody decides to murder you for no reason, they will now become essentially marked as a murderer. And once marked as a murderer, they will have a bounty out on their head, which people who want to claim it, can actually not be seen by that person when they go to claim the bounty. So it's going to be very hard for the person with a bounty on their head to actually defend themselves, because when you have a bounty on your head, a lot of people are going to come for you because they want the reward and they want those caps. And if you don't have enough caps to cover that bounty, if you were the murderer, you will receive a debuff to both damage for PvP and PvE. Now, keep in mind, some people might say, what happens if the player who has the bounty on their head leaves the server? It's actually been confirmed that the bounty will follow you around until it is either claimed or goes away. And from what I've read and from what Pete Hines tweeted a few days ago, I don't think it actually goes away. Somebody has to actually claim it. So yeah, that's how the Fallout 76 PvP system will work. Hopefully I explained that for everyone to actually understand. I know there was a lot of confusion regarding the Fallout 76 PvP system, and I wanted to put this video out there to clarify a lot of that confusion. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope you did like this video. If you did, drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help the channel grow. What do you think about the Fallout 76 PvP system? What would you change about it? Leave that in the comment section down below. Anyways, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.